Okay, just like we were learning yesterday, we're going to go do the extra practice pages for area of parallelograms. And just remember that the area formula is base times height. I am allowing you for yesterday and today's math to use calculators to make it go a little bit quicker, okay? Because now that you're starting to get into 7th and 8th grade math in just a few short months, you're going to be able to use calculators a lot more. So I think starting now in 6th grade with the practice of using a calculator is going to be very helpful as you move forward. So if you look at, we're on page 543, okay? Number 14, I'm not going to do it with you, but please know that the base is 12 and the height is 4. You'll notice that the shape is kind of like angled a little bit. That doesn't matter. Just know that that pink line means that that's the height. So 4 is the height and 12 is the base. And again, if it's just base times height, you're just multiplying the two together. For number 15, they gave you the base, they gave you the height. Again, you just multiply the two together. Same thing with, actually number 16, it says find the height of a parallelogram. So they give you the base and they give you the area. You're solving for the height. So that's going to be solving an equation. You'll notice that there's decimals. But again, I said that you can use a calculator, so that one should be fine. So now let's look at number 17, just because this one has a fraction in it. It says find the area of a parallelogram with a base. Okay, so area equals base times height. We're solving for the area. We don't know what that is yet. And it says the base is 15. Okay, and they tell you that the height is 21 2/3 yards. We can't multiply 21 2/3 times 15 right now. We're going to change this into an improper fraction. So what you do is you do 21 times 3, okay? And again, you can use calculators, that's fine. So you're going to get 21 times 3 is 63, plus 2 is 65. So you're going to get 65 over 3, and you're going to multiply that by 15 over 1, okay? Then you have to multiply straight across, just like this. So again, take out your calculator, you do 15 times 65, you end up getting 975. 1 times 3 is just 3, and then you divide 975 by 3, and you end up getting 325. So the area is equal to 325. Look back at your question. They're talking yards. So you're going to write yards and then squared when you're solving for area. Or you can write square yards. Either way is fine. Okay? So that was, again, number 17. Number 18, it's a map that they gave you. They want to know the area of the region. You'll notice that the base is 48.75. The height they gave you is from top to bottom, 61.25. Just multiply the two to find the area. Okay? For number 19, you're solving for the height. They gave you the area, they gave you the base, so you solve for the height. For number 20, you're actually drawing and labeling your own figure, which is pretty cool because you can come up with some on your own. So this is, again, number 20. And you have to draw a parallelogram, okay? So you could just start off by drawing like a parallelogram, right? Two parallel sides, two sets of parallel sides, with an equal base and height. But the area has to be greater than 64 square meters. So let's say, okay, you said I'm going to do, so this would be my height, okay? And they said they want an equal height and an equal base. Let's say, okay, I'm going to choose 4, right? Area equals base times height. So I'm going to write area equals 4 times 4. And I get area equals 16. Okay, we'll just say that this was in inches. 16 inches squared. But that wouldn't solve the problem because it says with an area greater than 64. Oh, meters. Sorry, they did it in meters, not inches. I just read that now. So be careful, it's meters. So this one would not count because 16 is not greater than 64. You have to come up with a base and a height that are the same number that has an area that is greater than 64. Shouldn't be too difficult to do. And then number 21, they want you to also draw a parallelogram with a base that is 4 times the height, but the area has to be less than 200 square feet. Okay, so play around with numbers. 4 times means, for example, if you had 2 on one side, 2 times 4 would be 8. Okay, so make sure that your base is 4 times the height. So the height's going to be the small number, and then your base is going to be that small number times 4, because it's 4 times. Okay, if you have any questions about that, let me know. For numbers 22 and 23, these are very interesting questions. I like these though. You'll notice that there's a rectangle for number 22, and then inside the rectangle we have a parallelogram. Okay, so let's see if I can draw this. We have a rectangle here, and then we have a little parallelogram in the middle. The height of the parallelogram is 4 feet. The base of the parallelogram is 12 feet. The side of the rectangle is 11, and then this is going to be 25 feet. Okay? They want you to find the area of the shaded region, which means this was the shaded part because it's yellow in your book. So what you need to do is first you need to find the area of this rectangle. Well, you say, how do I find the area of a rectangle? Area of a rectangle is just base times height as well. Same formula as parallelogram. So first you would do area equals 25 times 11, okay? And again, you have calculators if you need them. So you do 25 times 11, which is area equals 275 feet squared. Then what you need to do is find the area of the parallelogram in the middle. The area of the parallelogram in the middle, the base is 12, the height is 4. 12 times, I'm sorry, it's not 18, 12 times 4. So the area would be equal to 48 feet squared. Okay? Then what we want to do is we just want to know what this part is. So what we need to do is do 275 minus 48 to get our final answer, which would end up being 227 feet squared. You do 275 and then you take away the parallelogram that's in the middle to find the area of the shaded portion, which again is 227 feet squared. You're going to do the same thing with the number 23. First you find the area of the whole figure. You find the area of the square in the middle, and remember the area of the square is the same formula, base times height, and then you subtract the middle from the whole thing. Okay? If you turn to the back of extra practice, okay, they just give you a few multiple choice questions at the top where you're finding area or solving for certain things. And then if we look at number 27, number 27, they want you to draw each pair of lines, okay? The first one, number 27, they wanted you to draw parallel lines. Remember that parallel lines are lines that will never intersect with each other. They just kind of, one is on top of the other, and they will continue to be that way pretty much forever if they're parallel lines. If you're doing number 28, which is intersecting lines, those are a little bit different. They actually intersect. So it could look like that. They kind of form some sort of X somewhere. That's called intersecting lines. And number 29 is a perpendicular line. Perpendicular lines, they also intersect, but they form a right angle, okay? In this case, they formed 4 right angles, just like that, which means it's a 90-degree angle. Forms like a perfect L, whether it's upside down or backwards or forwards or whatever. Those are perpendicular lines. So please just know the difference between the 3 of those. If you have any questions about extra practice, just let me know.